Welcome to the Living Artist Podcast. I'm your host, Preston M. Smith. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Living Artist Podcast. I'm Preston M. Smith, at PMS Artwork everywhere on internet land and socials. I want to thank you for landing on this podcast. Whether you're a professional artist, just getting started in the art world, a collector of art, or just consider yourself a creative person, this podcast has something for you. I like to think of it as a fun way to rant and talk to other creative people about living the life of an artist, surviving and getting ahead in the art world, and enjoying your life. But most importantly, not waiting until you're dead to make it happen. All right, let's get started.
Expedia and Visit Scotland invite you to come experience the beauty that awaits in Scotland. The sweep of wild coastlines, quiet lochs, and untamed landscapes. Fresh cuisine that feels rooted in the land. Come experience the kind of stillness that stays with you long after you leave. Plan your Scottish escape today at expedia.com/Visit Scotland.
When you need to build up your team to handle the growing chaos at work, use Indeed Sponsored Jobs. It gives your job post the boost it needs to be seen and helps reach people with the right skills, certifications, and more. Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. That's Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need a hiring hero? This is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs.
Hey, everybody. Recording this quick intro in the middle of a treatment. I am putting out a podcast that I recorded a couple months ago that I hadn't released, which I think is going to make a lot of sense for the theme anyway. I had a adverse reaction to a treatment 3 weeks ago, and it kind of left me incapacitated, so I haven't been able to record anything new up until like this point. So I'm going to send this now to my past self. I hope you enjoy this special podcast about time traveling. All right, everybody. Talk to you soon.
Give in, everyone. Where we're going, we don't need roads. Wait, we can't say that one? Okay, help. You built a time machine out of a DeLorean? No good. 1.21 gigawatts. No, can't do that one. A bolt of lightning? Fuck it. Just get on the time machine. I will take you back to the future. Or forward to the past. Well, you'll understand. Just give in.
Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. Hope you're doing well out there. We're going to just jump right into this one and do a quick one today. We have talked about certain types of thought and mind experiments and different ways of looking at your art and creating your art and being a better artist and being a better person and, finding little tools and tips and tricks and hacks and ways to think outside of the box. And one of the ways we talked about that in the past was future casting, which is like looking down the road, 5-10 years, trying to picture what your art might look like in 5-10 years, what your career might look like in 5-10 years, what you want it to look like in 5 or 10 years, and then trying to kind of reverse engineer that and find the steps to make it happen. Make it so. Today, I kind of want to turn that on its head a little bit. And I want to credit Brian Johnson for this thought experiment. I was watching one of his YouTube videos, and he talks about this interesting thought experiment, which he uses in the context of health and longevity and like trying to live as long and as healthy as possible. We're going to use this. You can use it for whatever you want. You can use it for that. You can use it for your business. You can use it for self-improvement. You can use it for anything. But we're going to talk about it a little bit more in the context of art today. And that thought experiment is, like I said, it's flipping it on its head a bit and looking at it from a different angle. So to open this thought experiment, we're going to think about technology, just as an example, looking back 100 years, 200 years, and just thinking about where people were at the time, and just thinking about how far and how exponentially technology and society has grown since then. If you told somebody 100 years ago that you would have this tiny little computer in your pocket that allows you to access any information at the push of a button and talk to people and visually see them across the world in real time, they would be like, get the fuck out of here. You're crazy. They might not say it in those words, but you get the idea. And look how far we've come now. Now we just take it as commonplace, and we even get upset or frustrated when something doesn't happen instantaneously. Look how far we've come and how much we've adjusted. Well, this thought experiment jumps forward by hundreds of years. Like, look into the year 2500 and think about with AI. We're just starting out with AI right now, and this exponential increase of technology and biology and science and all the things that will happen even at an exponential rate faster than they've happened now because of the enhancement of AI and then just the general progress that we make as a species anyway. And think about where these people will be. Try to imagine what their world is going to look like. Are we going to be some sort of hybridization, of tech and nanobots and our own biology? Are we going to be on another planet? Are we going to be completely atrophied in our bodies and just using our minds and have these huge brains? Like, just think about where we could be in 2500. And then think about these people, project yourself into that place, and try to think back to where we are now as that future society, and look back like we do at people 200 years ago and go, wow, I can't believe they were doing this, this, and this. Or, oh, maybe this was even more pure or something. Maybe they're going to look back with fondness on certain things too. Like, oh, look at how they were creating art back then. Or look at how they were living in a more peaceful and pure way. Or maybe they're going to look back and just be like, I can't believe we thought this back then. I can't believe we were using this technology. I can't believe we were having wars and killing each other and divided politically and all this stuff. They might just be this very super conscious society at that point, and they might just be thinking completely differently, and there might be a lot more unity. Well, anyway, whatever you see it as, use this as a thought experiment and put yourself into that place from that perspective, and then look back now at yourself and try to see it through that lens, through that perspective, and say, wow, what could I improve upon? You can use this as a tool, as a hack to think outside the box, because I think so much of art and so much of what I've done with my career and advancement and trying to differentiate myself from other artists and getting my work out there and selling and being present and consistency and all these things, a lot of it has come from thinking outside of the box and finding new ways of doing things or new ways of thinking about things. And it doesn't have to just be new. It can just be unique. It can be something that you're doing that's authentic to you. And you can use this thought experiment to figure out some new ways of thinking about stuff. Like, we're so trapped in this context of where we're living right now and the parameters that we have to exist in with, art and materials and galleries and all that. Well, try to wipe that clean. Think about it from a future perspective. What is that going to look like in the future? And try to apply it to now. And you might be able to come up with some interesting ideas of not only creating your art a different way, maybe it's using different materials. Maybe it's thinking about the themes of your work that will be more commonplace in that era, which will make your art even stand the test of time. Maybe it'll be like something like, I can't believe this artist was talking about this in the year 2026, and now it's 2500 and it's still relevant. It can help you do stuff like that. It can help you think of unique and new ways to picture your business growing, picturing your art growing, picturing making new connections, or marketing yourself in a different way. Think about what marketing is going to be looking like. Is there going to be marketing? Who knows? Maybe there's going to be a throwback to a more pure way of doing everything. Maybe technology is not going to exist in the way we think it's going to exist. Maybe sometimes going back to basics could be an interesting way to think about it. But whatever you do, use this thought experiment to just expand your mind, expand your creative capacity, and think of ways that you could be improving on yourself, yes, as a human being, and maybe from a health perspective. Let me give you an example. Maybe you can use this as a way to stop a bad habit. Maybe you drink alcohol like I used to, too much, and maybe it's getting in the way of your life. Well, you could think of yourself, assuming you're still alive in 2500 with all the technological advancements, or just a future society looking back at you and going, man, I can't believe we were poisoning ourselves with this liquid that would, take us out of our conscious state and then demolish our next day or two afterwards and terrorize our sleep and make it so we can't recover. And so all these downstream negative effects happen. What an unconscious thing to do. If you look at it from that future perspective and go, yeah, obviously we're not going to be doing that in the future. You can use that to apply to yourself now and be like, I want to behave more like it's going to be in the future. How I'm behaving now in this way might be very primitive. So you can use it as like an inspiration to stop a bad habit. But in the context of art, how can you be creating your art in a unique way, in a new way, even thinking of how this art could land in the future and maybe some sort of hybridization of technology and AI and materials that you haven't thought of before that could bring us into the new era of art and set you apart from other artists right now. So I think you get the idea of what I'm talking about. So instead of future casting, you're basically you're projecting yourself hundreds of years into the future, trying to envision, which I know it's impossible, but as a thought experiment, you can come up with some unique ideas of what society might look like 300 years from now, and then use that perspective to look back and see yourself through a new lens and try to figure out what you could be doing and tweaking and how you could be improving upon yourself as an artist and as a human being in general. So I think this is an interesting thought experiment, and I hope you really take it and run with it and actually just try to apply it to your life. Maybe in your next meditation session or maybe in your next studio session, just give this some thought. I know I think really well when I'm painting. So, maybe just throw in some music, get into a long painting session or art session, whatever you create, and allow yourself and your mind to run free with this idea and see what you come up with. I'd be interested to hear. So we're going to leave it at that for today, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Take care of yourselves. Take care of everybody else out there. And we'll see you next time on the next episode. All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Please leave the machine in an orderly fashion. Watch your step on the way out. You might be a bit disoriented. And thank you for traveling on the Mumford Time Travel Express. Bella Farmers.
This has been the Living Artist Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. I just want you to know that I appreciate you being here, and I'm grateful to be in your ears. Your art and creative life on this planet is meaningful, so thank you for sharing it with me. If you like this podcast, whatever platform you're listening to it on, please subscribe and share it with your friends. You can also leave me a positive review to show your support. This helps me to reach more people with the algorithmic magic and keep the show going strong. If you want to see more of what I do and check out the art that I create, you can visit my website at www.pmsartwork.com or follow me on social media everywhere at PMS Artwork. That's it for now. See you back here next time.